Okay, welcome Oregon State. We will start with a statement from Coach Scott Ruick, and then we will have questions for the student athletes. Once we're done with the questions for the student athletes, we will dismiss them and keep Coach for a few minutes for questions. So go ahead, Coach.
All right. Well, obviously, super happy to be sitting here, smiling with a win. And anytime you're playing a team that played yesterday and you're coming off a bye, it's a little bit tricky, and it's an advantage, but it's also a disadvantage in some ways. And I thought we weathered the initial storm very well in that first quarter. I was happy to be close after one, and then we got into our rhythm in the second and created separation. But it's never going to be easy in March, of course, and so this one wasn't. This team was stretched in every way. We all were in the fourth quarter, just trying to get momentum back, and you got to give San Francisco just a ton of credit. You know when you play their team that it's going to be very disciplined, physical, tough, great game plan defensively. And that's what they were today. I liked the way they adapted to our zone as the game went on, and obviously they hit a ton of tough shots. Deep shots to not only get back in the game but take the lead. And I liked the composure of our team. To get the stops we needed down the stretch was huge, and a sign of all the progress that this group's made throughout the year. And then it came down to one play that we executed perfectly to get Kelsey an easy look at a game winner. And so, and so just as it was drawn up in the huddle, Kels, obviously didn't have a typical offensive game for her, and you got to give San Francisco a ton of credit for that. But she hit the one that mattered most, and so I was just really proud of our team today for finding a way, and happy to see so much orange in the stands as well. As always, Beaver Nation travels well for us, and so so hats off to San Francisco, and happy with the dub.
Okay, if you like, raise your hand if you'd like to ask a question. We'll start right here.
Well, Kelsey, you might just walk through that last play. What was it? Was it supposed to go to you, and then how did it work out? I guess.
Yeah, it was supposed to go to me. It didn't totally go as planned, but once I recovered the ball that I fumbled, I was like, okay, let's see if we can either draw a foul or get to the rim and just get a good look up. And I was able to get into her body and kind of use that to balance myself. And sometimes the game, it's not your game, but it's your moment, and happened to be my moment right then, and it was great. We were able to get that win, get out of here with slightly fresher legs than if we'd gone to overtime. So really happy that I was able to, Kat had an awesome game. So many people had an awesome game, and just to get that win for them was awesome.
What went through your mind as the ball was in the air and then hitting the backboard and the rim and all that?
It felt okay. I was like, if my length is right, I feel like I have a good chance. I don't know. I didn't think too much. That wasn't too much time. I was just like, and then it went in, and it was great.
And have you ever had a game winner?
No, not that I can remember.
So, how is it? How does it feel for the first time you've done that?
Yeah, it was awesome. As I said, it's such a great team win. San Francisco is a great team, and we've played them close a couple times, and I was in that same position at their place and wasn't able to pull it off. So to be able to pull this one off is really nice.
Okay, next question.
Katarina, can you talk about what you guys did defensively early in the game? They looked like they couldn't even get a shot a lot of times, and your two post players looked like they were pretty good deterrents in the paint.
Yeah, obviously, working our zone, we want to shut down the rim. We don't want them to score the rim, and I feel like our zone was really, really good, and that worked well.
Kelsey, you shot a free throw late. It was the first of two.
Yep.
You looked a little surprised that it went in. What were you thinking there?
It didn't feel great off the hand, and I just kind of, gave it a little lean.
Yeah.
To get it down. I knew at that time we needed all the points we could get, and foul shots are free points if you can get them in. And so I was just making sure that that it did go in.
And then to your point, late in the game was your moment. Like, you're 0 for 4. What are you thinking as that huddle breaks and your coaches said, all right, here's the play, here's what we're doing?
I think a big thing in basketball is you kind of have to have a short memory. obviously you need to remember like the lessons you've got out of the plays and what didn't work and what you can bring to help yourself in the next moment. But it's such a moment-to-moment thing, and it was, it was just going through my head that like good or great, each moment good or great, good or great. Like what can you do to make this moment good or great? And that's a play we've practiced, and it's something I'm comfortable doing, and obviously it didn't work out quite as easy as I would have liked, but hey, so I had confidence in the coaches, had confidence in my teammates, so yeah, wasn't any pressure there.
Okay, we have one question online, so we're going to take that. Go ahead. Ethan?
I have a question for Kat. So in that early minutes of the game, first half, first quarter, you're hitting off crazy Thursday you don't normally play. I'm just wondering, is that a helmet thing, or are you going to this game planning, if I see this shot, I'm going to gap it?
I knew they were gonna like back up and let me shoot the three because I'm usually more as a driver, but it's something that I've been working on, my three-point shot, and I was confident. And if the ball come out of the pan, I'm shooting.
Great, thank you.
Any other questions for the student athletes? Okay, thank you.
Go Beavs!
Okay, go ahead.
Coach, late in the game, 4 of the 5 players on the court were players that came back for you, and you kind of got a ride or die mentality there at the end. What did that feel like to you in that moment of loyalty too?
Yeah, I actually thought of that. Probably 3 minutes to go, and it just seemed like we were on the ropes, and nothing seemed to be going our way during that stretch. And I looked out there, and I actually thought of that. I think we had just gotten a stop, and we're coming this way, and it just seemed right. To be with that group. They Sela's a good matchup in this game. I felt anyway, and so it made sense to have her out there. But they also have the most minutes probably throughout the season, and so ride or die felt right to me at that moment, and I have a lot of confidence in them and the way that they've progressed through the year and found ways.
Just talk a little bit about how Sela and Kelsey I think they only had 2 block shots between them at halftime, but it seemed like USF decided not to test it any further.
A little bit, and Sela got a huge one down the stretch or in the last minute there, and extended out, and it's interesting that you can be, 6'7" and not necessarily a shot blocker, because Sela's not typically, that's not her game. She's a finesse post with beautiful touch, and hasn't been able to trust her body really to move out, move back, just physically because of different issues she's had with her knees. And so now she's healthy, and so she is getting to explore what she's actually capable of physically, and she's faster than I think she wants any of us to know. She can jump more and higher than any of us, and so we see these little glimpses of it. And then, she hits this next level of competitor, and she did that down the stretch today, where you'll see her go up and grab a rebound, and it's a wow moment, or come out of the paint and get a block on a short corner shot like she did. And so it's fun. That's the story of this team. Everybody has taken massive steps forward in their games, and every one of those steps has taken a ton of courage. And that's the beauty of this team. That's why I'm having so much fun with them. It's what any coach would dream to be a part of, where all the students are, in what they consider a safe place where they can take chances, basically, and test the waters of areas that maybe they're insecure about, as a basketball player and as a competitor. And so between Kelsey and Sela, they've both had so far to go. They've both now gotten the opportunity they've both kind of been waiting for. And look what they're doing with it. It's just beautiful. And so we got to see that, and it's come to fruition all year. But that last minute was pretty special for both of them.
This team has been winning a lot of games lately because the defense has come together. The first half today, was that kind of a snapshot into how well this team has come together defensively?
I think so. I think that's been the last month, though. If you look at our last several games, we've had leads. Ironically, at St. Mary's, we're up 19 and found a way to lose, last week and whenever that was. Today had a very similar vibe. It was like this heroic offensive performance from the other team to come back, and today we survived it instead of came up short. And so the defense has given us that opportunity. And when people have scored against us, it's been big time shot making or big time execution, and that's the sign of a really good team. And that was the challenge at the beginning of the year. We need to be a great defensive team as our offense develops. Now we know where to go a little more often offensively, and today obviously was filled with mistakes. Travels and illegal screens and different things that we haven't seen for a while. We had more turnovers than normal today, which took away shot attempts. But when we execute, along with the defensive intensity that's become so consistent, I think we're a tough out.
24 hours, you got Gonzaga. Why has that proven to be a really good matchup for you guys?
Yeah,
Two overtime games.
I think they're somewhat traditional. We've had two just epic battles with them. The game up there, was December 28th, I believe. We're coming off of Christmas break, and it's like you get one practice basically, and now you're playing, Gonzaga on their home floor. That was a tough ask, and so this group found a way, down 12 with 3 minutes to go or something like that, to force overtime and find a way to win it was a sign of what this team was capable of. And both teams have gotten better since then, no question. But I think, Lisa does a great job. That staff's been together a long time. They've got the Conference Player of the Year. She loves layups. She's very good in the mid-range, and she can knock threes down, but she loves to be at the rim. And we're pretty good, and we're getting better at defending the rim, And so with our guard play and our ability to defend like we have, with the athleticism we have, I think, we can slow most teams down. We were able to slow them down, but they slow us down too. So it's just it's just a great matchup. And so we'll have our hands full tomorrow, but it will be fun.
Scott, you've raved about Kat's development and getting her back for next season. I want to kind of take you back to the second quarter, because when she was going off and hitting threes, you look like cracked a wry smile of like, wow, she's really seizing this. I just want to take a snapshot into your mind of what was going through your head and kind of like what you've seen Kat develop into to this moment.
Yeah, I remember that smile, and it was two-part smile. It had double meaning. One, super happy for Kat, because look at what's happening for her. Anybody that watched her at the beginning of the year knows, she would force a lot of things. She was playing, basically a style that she is accustomed to that wasn't necessarily effective, in our system, or for her really to be highly efficient. And that's what she's here to do. She's here to become a pro. So we've got to take, it up a notch in efficiency, shot selection, and decision making. And so to watch her settle in now and become that efficient player that can take a game over like that makes me really happy. That possession was so broken. That's why I smiled. It's like we hit a three off of one of the most broken possessions of the night, and we survived it somehow. So I was happy about that too. So San Francisco did such a good job. They were so disruptive, for most things we wanted to do today.
All right, we have one question online, then we'll wrap it up. Go ahead.
I want to touch back on that defense in the second half after San Francisco started picking it back up. They hit a lot of really deep threes. I heard you say on the broadcast that you wanted some more communication from your team. Can you go a little bit deeper into that on what your guys' game plan was after that happened?
I can't remember what I said, but I just think, the zone that we run, and it's true, I think, of any zone against any good team. If you're not at your peak in anticipation, vision, and your body's not moving with your mind, you're going to be a reactionary team, and you're going to be a half second slow, and the offense will be in control of that possession. First half, we were in control. They were on their heels. We made them shoot 17% in the second quarter with that zone. Their percentages didn't go up that much overall, but they did from three because we didn't quite extend, we weren't quite as disruptive, and then they got momentum. Our player-to-player defense was what we went to down the stretch because of their ability to not miss from beyond NBA in this game. And so you give them a ton of credit, but I give our team a ton of credit for adapting. They're not easy to defend for us, in player to player, and I thought we really rose to the challenge down the stretch. And so the ability that this team has to switch on the fly and to show different styles, because we can do different things in both zone and man, has made us a formidable defense, and given me a lot of confidence in them, and given the team a lot of confidence as well.
Okay, thanks, Coach.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody.
Okay, we will start with a statement from Coach Goodenbauer, and then we'll have questions for the student athletes. When we're done with those questions, we'll dismiss the student athletes and then have a few questions for Coach. Go ahead, Coach.
First, just congratulations to Oregon State. That was we were excited to play them. We thought this would be a good matchup. It turned out to be a really good, well-balanced game, and ball bounces the way it bounces sometimes. So. But what I'd like to say, just about our team and our journey this year, I just couldn't be prouder of what our players did and how they responded to challenges and adversity along the way. We lost one of our all-conference players midway through the year. We lost another post player earlier in the season. We lost another player after that. We had kids going to Croatia to play for national teams. We had kids with concussions, and we really talked about after we lost Deb, how are we gonna be the best version of who we are? And a lot of people say that and then don't do what they can actually do to be the best version of themselves. And this team, to their credit, because of their character and their people that they are, I really feel like these guys, rose to the occasion and made the very most of the opportunity that they had to play together. We beat the best team in the league. We feel like, a call goes or a bounce goes one way or the other. We beat the second best team in the league. We're right there on any given night. So very proud of these guys. Sorry that our season is done, but could not be prouder of their effort.
Okay, go ahead.
Angeliki, you had a terrific second half. Can you tell us, after Coach called that timeout late, what the play was and what you saw as that was unfolding?
I think we didn't start the game as we wanted, and our goal the second half was to be tougher and to bounce back, and I think we did that for the most part. I just want to say that I'm super thankful for my seniors. I couldn't ask for a better group of people to start my college career, and I'm just going to miss them so much.
And on that final play when you took the three at the top of the key,
Yeah.
what was the play supposed to be there? Was that what you guys were looking for?
No, it wasn't, but I mean, somehow the ball was in my hands, so I took the shot.
Freya, coaches continuously raved about your character and the ability to start to own it as the focal point of USF. When you take a look back at your time on the hilltop, what fills you with most pride?
I mean, I've had a great experience here. Most players want to be in the position that I got kind of rushed into. We're talking a lot about me having to take shots, and I'm very privileged. Most players want to be in that position. This team is just full of great women. I'm so happy to get the chance for Molly. When I got in the portal, I didn't really know what I would get. I was thinking about going Division II, going back home to Sweden, and then they gave me a chance, and I'm just really, really grateful for that.
Any other questions for the student athletes?
Freya, when you guys took the lead early, they brought their second big into the game, and they all of a sudden they had 6-5 and 6-7 in the middle of their zone. Just talk about how difficult it was to deal with that, and then how you guys gradually adjusted to their zone and were more effective as the game went along.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough playing against two big girls like that. We usually have one, and they have two of them, so it takes up a lot of space in the paint. But I feel like we did a good job of like swinging the ball, and we got things open on the perimeter instead. So we just wanted to keep attacking and not really get too scared of them being there.
Okay. Any other questions? All right, thank you both.
Thank you.
Okay, questions for Coach?
Molly, can you just talk about your team's ability to come back? You were down 17 about 20 seconds into the second half, and before we know it, you're ahead, and you actually chased them out of their zone, I think, late in the game.
I think first half, I thought Ferreira, elevated her game. She played exceptionally well. Our scouting report on her, we kind of try to play the odds, and she knocked down, I think 3 or 4 3-pointers, which was not something that we necessarily anticipated. So that got us a little bit out of our defensive rhythm. And offensively, we couldn't throw it in the ocean and weren't getting any rebounds. So those 3 things are a recipe for digging a big hole. Luckily we got out of that first half and went in the locker room and just kind of challenged them, to step up. And, we needed to stick more to the game plan. Again, playing the odds, we didn't think that Ferreira would continue to be as hot as she was, but we had to be conscious of her a little bit more. We had to get back into the principles of our scout defensively, which I think we did a much better job in the second half. Thought we rebounded marginally better in the second half. It's still really tough with those 2 big kids in there. And we made some baskets. I thought Mia Vucic comes in, and that's the thing she can do. She can change the game in a second when she starts knocking down shots. And yesterday after we played, I talked to her about, she didn't play at all against LMU. I said, we're going to need you tomorrow, and you're going to need to come in, knock down shots for us. And she did exactly what we asked her to do. Couldn't be happier with how she played. And Angie, same thing, came in. We finally kind of made some shots, and once you make some shots, you feel a little bit better about everything. So we were able to put good things in a row together. Good defensive stop, good offensive possession, allowed us to come back into the game, and then you have a chance to win it at the end, and ball bounces a certain way.
What was the call in the huddle for what you guys wanted to do? You had 9 seconds left on the shot clock.
Yeah, we were trying to, yeah, we needed to get it inbounded cleaner. We were trying to bring Mia off of a, kind of a floppy action. She could have come either way off of a single screen there on the baseline, but we had trouble inbounding, so then we got a little bit out of position and had to force a shot that wasn't the one that we necessarily wanted to take. But, is what it is.
And can you just talk a little bit about what Free has been for you since this is it for her, but also how tough it was to have to play the last 3 minutes without her?
Yeah, again, I mean, I think some of those are real tough judgment calls for the officials to make at the end of the game, but, certainly having her on the floor gives her teammates confidence, gives her coaches confidence, both defensively and offensively. So, but I do, I trusted that lineup that we had in at the end of the game to defend, and they defended well. And, the kid hits the only shot she makes the whole game. It's it's bad. It's sports, right? I mean, I wouldn't fault our defense on that last play. I think those kids locked in and they defended. We had her kicking the ball. She, might have traveled or double dribbled with it there, but, so I think they defended well. They just made a good shot.
Okay. One more question.
Molly, a big senior class with varying levels of tenure with you, and you've talked about the journey of this season. Now, really, no 2 days were the same, but what's the defining trait of the senior class in your mind?
Their character. They really fortunate to be able to coach intelligent and motivated, committed women. And they're committed not just to basketball, they're committed to one another. In an age where nobody wants to be accountable to anyone or for anything, they are accountable every single day. And to me, a measure of a great teammate and a great team is, can you look next to you and can you be counted upon? And all those kids, that are leaving their eligibility right now could count on themselves and could count on the person next to them. And that's been a hallmark of our teams, and that's something I'm very proud of, and it is a credit to their character.
Okay, thank you, Coach.
Thanks.
Thanks, Paul.
Thank you. Sorry it couldn't be another day.
Yeah, that's great.
Wanted to.
Perfect. Thank you.
How the ball bounces.
You guys are going to be back for